Good afternoon, staff and students of Bernice McNaughton High School. My name is Jake McNeil. I'm here with my analyst, Dylan Jackson, and tonight we are tackling a serious issue in McNaughton. Many students and teachers, Dylan, can you believe this, do not know what is going on over in Syria and Iraq right now, but
That's
luckily got us too. Dylan here is a very educated in the topic of Anonymous. A hacktivist group?
Yes, hacktivist group.
Okay, so who is Anonymous?
Well, Anonymous is a leaderless group of hackers and activists who decide to rally against things they do not believe.
Okay, how did they start?
Well, they started out by hacking the Scientology church in Hollywood, by calling their phone lines, trolling them, and DDoSing their website.
All right, how big is this Anonymous group?
Well, they're everyone. Everyone is a part of Anonymous until you say that you are not a part of Anonymous. So you could say there's millions of people involved in helping the group achieve their goals.
All right, awesome. And what are they doing to fight ISIS?
Right now, they're hacking their Twitter and Facebook accounts and looking in their messages and group chats to see if they find any evidence. And if they do find any evidence, they're going to easily just report it to the authorities and the U.S. government.
Okay, and why are they fighting ISIS?
Well, they're fighting ISIS because after the Paris attacks, one of the main contributors of Anonymous was affected dearly, and he decided to rally against ISIS and make a Twitter account and call it /OP ISIS and fight against the ISIS and Syrian government.
All right, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We have a anonymous hacker here, and we're going to interview him shortly, right after this break.
我很喜欢喝啤酒，啤酒很好喝，因为我不喜欢 Zach， 然后我很喜欢吃这个 noodle，Mama noodle very good, very nice, I like it.
All right, this afternoon we've brought in an anonymous hacker, and we've kept his identity unknown to the public. And here we go. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Okay. When did you join Anonymous?
I joined earlier this year.
All right, and why'd you join?
I decided to join because one of my relatives actually died in the Paris attacks, and I knew that I could make a change to Anonymous and help their fight against ISIS due to my hacker background.
All right, and how do you contribute to Anonymous?
I contribute to Anonymous by using my various computer programs that can shut down Twitter and Facebook accounts and take down websites as needed and infiltrate who needs to be infiltrated.
All right, and what have you learned through your time in Anonymous?
That nothing can stop Anonymous. We are a brilliant group of hackers who are willing to take down anyone in our path. And anyone who decides to come before us and try to fight against us will face the wrath of Anonymous. We have shown that by our amounts of hacking, such as 6,000 hacks on Twitter and over 4,000 hacks on Facebook, and multiple group chats that have been infiltrated by Anonymous forces.
All right, and you guys don't consider yourselves terrorist groups, so what are your thoughts when people say that you are a terrorist group?
We are not a terrorist group, we are anti-terrorist group. We are activists, also known as hacktivists, because we do hack our way through our beliefs, and we fight through the cyber world, and we truly believe in that we are fighting for the right thing. We are not terrorists just because we infiltrate what needs to be infiltrated, and we do stop what is wrong, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve our beliefs.
All right, thank you very much. That's all the time we have now. We're going to take you back to Jacob and Dylan back in the studio on the history of ISIS and everything that's happened in Syria in the past couple of years. Thank you. Good afternoon, BMHS. Welcome back to the real BMHS News, featuring myself, Jake McNeil, and my partner here, Dylan Jackson.
Yes, hello.
So tonight we are tackling the biggest story among BMHS is the lack of knowledge in the BMHS community.
It's a shocking lack of knowledge
of what is going on over in Syria,
Correct.
Even just the backstory on ISIS and who they are and what they want. So let's dive right into that. Does Dylan, does the name Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi mean anything to you?
I've never heard of it before. I actually do not recall ever hearing this name, actually.
You see, much like anyone watching this video, that name would not mean much at all. Heck, to me, I had no idea who that person was, but he's actually the leader of ISIS.
Oh.
Yes, he's a 42-year-old male who views himself as a god in the Muslim community.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, ISIS.
ISIS, yes.
Do you know what that stands for? What it means?
I do not know what it means nor what it stands for. No.
Yeah, that's very common as well. But it actually stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, not to be confused with ISIL, which is the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant.
Yes, very different.
But yes, as I mentioned, they're led by the 42-year-old Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Yes. But next question is how was ISIS formed? Do you know?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I know that they are very rebellious and willing to fight for what they believe in, but I'm not really sure how they began.
All right, yeah, well, that's very common as well. But they were formed actually much the same way that Al-Qaeda was formed. Al-Qaeda was formed when the Russians invaded Iraq, and ISIS was formed when the Americans came into Iraq.
Yes.
So another question that young people often find themselves asking is, what is their goal? Do you know their goal, Dill?
Not really sure about their goal. I can tell that they are causing a lot of massacres,
That's
but
right.
I'm not very sure what their objective is.
Yes, these massacres come because of their goal, actually, and their goal is quite simple. They have their eyes on establishing an Islamic state, and they're willing to use violence and brutal force against any non-Muslims, so Westerners like ourselves, or any Muslims who they think are not Muslim enough. They determine that through the Quran, which is their version of the Bible. So obviously this violence poses a huge threat towards us Westerners.
Correct.
And another question is, what is the difference between ISIS and other terrorist groups?
I'm not very sure. They seem to be doing the exact same things, causing many massacres in the Western countries, but I'm not really sure what their objective is.
They're very different from any terrorist group before them. The first reason, there's three main reasons. The first reason being that they're able to gain so much more territory than any other terrorist group before them, and that's shocking. But the second group is their behavior. They behave more like a military in the way that they fight and they seize their land, and that makes them a very tough force to fight. And the final reason is how they act. Once they have control of this territory, they function more like a government. They actually they steal, they tax their people, and they even sell the oil that's controlled by their land. And get this number. They're estimated to be making upwards of $1 million a day.
That's ridiculous. That is truly ridiculous.
That definitely sets them apart from any other terrorist group before them. So thank you very much for tuning into this segment of The Real BMHS News with Dylan Jackson and myself, Jacob McNeil. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Later.